Welcome to the class today. We're going to talk about road tripping. What do we do? What's it like when we travel with essential oils? How do you do it? What are we allowed to do right now? Because you know that's an ongoing changing thing. And what oils would you take? So I plan to talk about packing, traveling in cars, traveling in planes, trains, and automobiles, staying in hotels, different things to take into consideration. If you have questions, feel free to write them in the chat box or unmute yourself and ask. Or if you're watching the replay, feel free to email me a question or write a question in the comments below. I'm happy to chat with anybody about oils these days. So to start off with, I am not a doctor. I am not going to be talking about anything diagnosis related. I am only talking about staying above the wellness line and living the best life we can. And I want to talk about how we might do that when we're traveling. I know right now we're all as a country mostly still in shelter in place. Don't know for me where I'm at when that's going to change. But I do know that there are some people that still need to travel. And when I get back to, whatever my life is going to be, I also know I'm going to still travel. So I've been thinking a lot more about what that might look like. And I have people around me that are starting to use oils and products more for their own health and wellness. And now they're wondering, how do I do that when I'm traveling? Can I do that when I'm traveling? So that's why we're talking about this today. So whenever I think about traveling, the first thing I want to talk about is packing. How do you pack and where do you pack your oils? So it depends if you're traveling in a plane, a train, an automobile, a bicycle. How is it that you're traveling? That's going to make a difference. If you're traveling in a car, some things to take into consideration with when you're packing is how long is your trip? And are you going to take everything out of your car each night, or are you going to leave things in your car? The reason I say this is because you want to make sure that your oils aren't exposed to large temperature changes. So if you happen to be traveling at a time or in a place where it gets below freezing, not that your oils are going to freeze, but you don't want that extreme temperature change. So I wouldn't leave them in the car. And if you're traveling in the summertime or in locations where it's very hot, also then would not leave them in the car. So when you're thinking about where you're packing your oils, you want them to be in a cool, dry place, right? Generally speaking. You don't want them sitting across your dashboard getting sun. That is the reason that really high quality essential oils are in dark bottles, amber bottles, amber or dark blue. Young Living chooses to use the amber bottles for most of their oil products. So out of the sun. So that means when I pack, I put my oils inside a bag. And then I put that not at the edge of the car or at the very back where the sun's gonna come in the window. I will put them in more a central part in the car where they're less likely to get sun or less likely to get sun for a long period of time. Sometimes that means it's under my chair. Sometimes that means it's in a footwell. You don't have to be super concerned. Like it's not, put it in a nice chest and make sure. It's not like that. You just wanna make sure. I tend to go on road trips that are many hours or days in length. So I wouldn't want to have my oil sitting right in the sun for that long. And then I try and plan. For me, I'm kind of lazy when I travel. I don't always want to unpack everything. So I try to plan to have my oils in the bag that's going to come in with me when I go inside. If it's really hot, it's in my purse, and then I don't even have to worry about it because that comes with me. If it's not really hot and maybe I'm going to go in, to a restaurant or a rest stop or something, I can leave it in the car. That's okay. That's not a long-term piece. Part of it is, just the safety of the oils. The reason that, one of the reasons that Young Living oils are so effective is that they are steam distilled at exactly the right temperature. And that tends to be a little bit lower and a little bit slower than a lot of other people will distill oils at. So we don't need to add more heat to the oils. But the other thing is because the change in temperature of a plastic on top of a glass can make the top split. It can make the top a little bit more loose and have more problems. It's not going to be a super common thing unless, you know, a couple of the oils have more tendency to do that. But just so that your tops last as long as the oil in your bottle, you wouldn't want to have a lot of those temperature changes with them. It will also help to prevent some of the leakage, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. If you're traveling in a plane, you have multiple options. You can check your oils and you can carry on your oils. It is okay to carry on essential oils onto planes, depending on the amount and how you bring them on onto the plane itself. If you are, and so this works in a bunch of different ways. It gets a little bit confusing. Depending on the length of your flight, how high your plane happens to be going, the type of plane that you're on, so many different factors come into how pressurized they make the cabin inside where we tend to sit, and the storage, the luggage area below where our luggage is. If it's a long flight where they're also transporting animals, that is a climate controlled, much more climate controlled than in a plane that does not transport animals. But the pressure changes underneath the plane where our luggage is different than it is in the cabin with ourselves. So something to take into consideration. Anytime I'm traveling on a plane, whether I'm checking my bags or whether I'm taking them up with me, I make sure that if I have a new bottle, I don't open it until I get where I'm going. If it's not a new bottle, which most of mine aren't, I don't over tighten the cap. If you really crank down on the cap and tighten it, it's more likely to leak. This was counterintuitive to me. That drove me crazy. I was tightening down all my bottles, and it's plastic, so there is some natural expansion, and the pressure changes happening within the cabin and underneath, and it would cause more leakage. So don't crank it tight, just close it. Just close it. So when I travel, I have a little bag like this. It has a little elastic to help hold the bottles in. And then I can fit extra bottles in here as well. There's a lot of different styles of these that you can get, use, and find. I have quite a few of them. They're all similar. They all have a little way to hold the oils individually. But what I do is I have this in my purse. So before I get to the airport, I get my quart-size baggie, which is what you're allowed to carry liquids through. And I dump all of my oil bottles that I'm carrying on the plane with me into that baggie. So I put this empty in my purse or my carry-on bag. And then in the plastic quart-size baggie, I have all of my different oil bottles and any other liquids or gels that I'm carrying with me. So, you know, if you have lip gloss or deodorant or lotion or whatever you might be carrying from your purse, from your carry-on, all of that has to fit in one quart-size baggie. I do know that the government has increased the amount of hand sanitizer you can take on a plane because of everything that's going on. But other than that, you have 3 ounces of each bottle of each product that you're allowed to take on a plane on the carry-on portion. And then all of that has to fit in one quart-size bag. So what I do is I put this empty in my purse or carry-on. I have all my oils in that quart-size bag. As soon as I get through security, get my shoes back on, get to the gate, get my bagel or whatever I'm getting, sit down, open the baggie, take them out, put them back in here. Because this is able to hold them upright. They leak less. These oils, I'll store them on their side all the time, not a problem. But on a plane where you're going up and down and changing the atmospheric pressure and the pressure inside the cabin, having them upright will cause less leakage. So when I keep them in here, put them all in here lined up, and then set that in my bag under my seat, I keep these under my seat because I can make sure that they stay upright there. I don't put them in the overhead. If you have long legs or too much stuff to carry, then you can put them in the overhead. Just be aware that you've got them as upright as you can be. And, you know, people are going to be getting into the overhead and putting other things up there. Just be aware of what that looks like. So I have a variety of these little travel bags. There's a lot of ways that they work, and you can make your own. There's, you know, tons of ways to find them, places to find them. But putting the oils standing upright is important, making sure you're not like, don't crank down on it, just close it, let it be closed. That's okay. And then what I do is when I'm on the plane, and often I'm getting a book or I'm getting something, as I lean down to get my stuff, I'll take a whiff, I'll take a smell. And my nose is tuned in to essential oils enough that sometimes I'll notice, ooh, I'm smelling one of my oils. That's an indicator to me that something has expanded on one of my bottles, and I might want to double check it. So I'll take out my little thing, open it up, figure out, oh, it's the peppermint. Okay, yep, it's definitely peppermint. I'll just crack it a little and then close it back, not cranking it, just close it back. So it's kind of like burping it. Give it a chance to come to pressure and then close it and put it back in. Usually I don't have to do that on all my oils. It'll be like maybe one or two, and it doesn't always happen. It's kind of a random thing. I haven't totally been able to figure out what causes it. It might have to do with how much oil is in the bottle. I don't really know, but I know that burping my bottles when they're, especially if we're having a lot of changes in that, if there's really turbulent or having a lot of changes in pressure, then I'll burp my bottles. You don't have to take the cap all the way off and like give it time. No, it's just open, close, you're good. So burping your bottles can be another way to help reduce that. And then once I get off the plane at my final destination, you might want to do that again. I don't tend to have to do that often. It's not an all the time thing. It's a once in a while thing. The exception to that is my roller balls. Anything with a roller ball, in my experience so far, I've noticed has a tendency to leak way more than anything else. It doesn't, I don't think it tends to do that. I haven't noticed it doing it in my purse or when I'm just carrying things around in general, but with, except on occasion, but with changes in pressure. So if I'm driving over a mountain, if I'm flying, if I'm going in a submarine, I don't know. The pressure change seems to impact ones with a roller ball more. I think it's because the ball is designed to be a little bit, it has more movement in it. And if you look at the orifice reducer on a cap, it prevents oil from coming out much more than the roller ball does. So on my roller balls, my roller things with the roller top, whether it's one that I have put my roller top on or one from Young Living that comes already with a roller top, I do the same thing. As soon as I get on a plane, burp it. And then as we're changing in pressure, sometimes I will burp it again. I don't take the cap all the way off, just a little like burp it and then go. When I land, this is one that I almost always burp. So when I'm on the plane and when I land, the ones with the roller tops get burped. And then as much as possible, keeping it upright. So the roller, the 10 milliliter roller bottles from Young Living come in a cardboard container. So I'll often travel with that so I can keep this in there and keep it contained. That way, if it leaks, which is rare, but if it does, it's not going everywhere. It also makes it easier to keep upright when I'm on the plane or in my car or wherever else I am, wherever else it needs to be. Deep Relief is one of the rollers that I travel with almost all the time. It comes in very handy for when I've overdone it, walked too much, ran too much, lifted my 49.5 pound suitcase far too many times or whatever. It is just that deep relief. So it's one that I travel with a lot, and it's one that I have learned the smell of. So when I'm getting a book, changing out, grabbing my snack, whatever, when I smell that, I know I probably want to burp it just so that I don't lose the oil. So hopefully that's helpful. Other things to think about when I'm packing is I want to make sure that I'm also packing things like the products that I use or bring with me to use my essential oils. So I will pack veggie capsules. Oh, you can't see that very well. Veggie capsules so that I can take my oils internally. Sometimes I'll bring them just in a little baggie. Sometimes I'll bring the whole bottle. It depends on where I'm going and for how long I'm going. And these are basically little capsules that you can take apart. You can put your vitality oils in. and a carrier oil if you want, and then you get to swallow it and take it internally. Those are nice to travel with. I usually get the ones that are enteric coated just for my own belly and support. When you're putting essential oils in a capsule, some of them are going to wear through the capsule quicker. So the enteric ones, like the ones that you can get from Young Living or from companies, you know, affiliated with Young Living, tend to work better with essential oils. You want to travel with the veggie capsules empty and fill them before you use them. Don't like create a whole bunch of, you know, pill bottle thing and fill up all your veggie capsules with your essential oils and think you're going to get them when you get there. That's not going to work. Take your capsules empty, fill them when you're about to use them, and then swallow them when you're ready. I also travel with nasal inhalers. These are really great for using on a plane, especially I find, or going over mountains. My grandfather used to use one of these. I think it was like a Vicks nasal inhaler. I thought it was the grossest thing ever, and now I love them. But basically all it is the little bottom here comes off and there's a wick in there, and you can put your essential oil on the wick and then basically like breathe, and you're getting, it's stronger, I think, than taking your oil bottle and like huffing it, or putting the oil on your hands and smelling it. So for me, this comes in really handy because I have been on flights where there's somebody next to me that is sensitive to smells. I don't want to be that person that annoys them. I have no problem using my oil around other people, doesn't bother me, but I also want to be considerate of other people as well. So having the nasal inhaler with the oil that I want to use for my sinuses or for my whatever it is I'm using can be really helpful. Also, I don't worry about it leaking. There's nothing to leak. It's a dry wick with a couple drops of essential oil in there. There's no leak. So I can keep this in my pocket, in my bra, in my sleeve, wherever, and no worries. And I don't have to worry about if this gets lost. Like if this rolls away from me on the plane, it's not an entire bottle of oil. If a bottle of frankincense rolled away from me, I would be devastated and crawling under people's chairs to get to it. But if this rolled away with a couple drops, I would be sad, but I wouldn't feel like, okay, everybody stop, don't move, right? It wouldn't be that dramatic. It would be okay. So the nasal inhalers can be a really nice way to travel. I also find these nice to travel when I'm in a car. So I recently a while ago, went on a trip with a family member who is really averse to the smell of essential oils. And I knew I was going to want and need some. So I took my little nasal inhaler. So I could use them with him in the car next to me. He was fine, I was fine, and eventually then he wanted to know what I was doing, and he wanted it, and he liked it, and for some reason it was different for him, but that's okay. So another nice option is the nasal inhalers. I also bring, I didn't bring it out. I also bring cotton balls, dry cotton balls, or cotton wicks, the little pads, or I will bring felt stickers, because you can use those to diffuse anywhere you need. So in my car, I'll put a little felt sticker on the dashboard. If I don't have a diffuser, or let's say I get a rental car, put a felt sticker on the dashboard, put a drop or two of essential oil on there, and now I have a car diffuser. I might also take my cotton ball, or instead take my cotton ball, put a drop of essential oil on there, put it in the slats on the vent, and turn on the air conditioner or the heater or the fan or whatever it is, and that's going to diffuse through the car. So whether it's my car or a rental car, very nice options for helping to use your essential oils, have them around with you. You can use that in a hotel, put it in the slats in the air conditioner or the heater, any of the vents. You can take that anywhere. It's an easy way, and a fan, easy way to bring a diffuser with you if you don't have a diffuser. So that's a great way to travel. I also travel with these little glass spray bottles. So this one is Joy. I have it set up as a room spray. This can be a bathroom spray. This can be a bedroom spray. It can be a linen spray. But I create my sprays before I go and take them with me so that I can use them to support myself in the environment that I'm around. It's a nice way to travel with essential oils that make it easy for me to use them. Of course, there are also a lot of essential oil and products that come in really easy, convenient travel size things like my Alkaline comes in little travel packs, individual packs. My Mighty Pro comes in travel packs. So I look for all the different products that make it easy to travel to take my supplements. For enzymes, my Essential Zymes 4 comes in a blister pack. So I don't even have to pack an entire bottle. I can just pack a blister pack or break off however many meals I'm going to have from my blister pack and take just that. Makes it easier. Another really cool thing that I think it's really cool that Young Living does or has is they have a travel kit. So if you're newer to Young Living or you haven't tried a lot of their products, so maybe you haven't tried their toothpastes or their deodorants or shampoos and conditioners and lotions and stuff, it can be a little bit hard to go through and choose from all of the options. But they do have a travel kit, and the travel kit comes with travel size shampoo, conditioner, lotion already filled up, a travel sized toothpaste. It comes with a toothbrush. It comes with a whole bunch of travel sized options. So you get to, whether you're traveling or not, try a whole bunch of products, personal health products that may be just the great next thing for you without having to commit to an entire bottle of it. So I got myself a travel kit, enjoyed the products that I enjoyed. And then I also, now I have the bottles for refills. So I don't have to bring my whole conditioner. I can refill my little bottle and I have my conditioner. So that's a great way to travel. Additionally, think about when you're thinking about your personal care products that you're traveling with, what do you like to bring? What do you need to bring? How much do you need? And what's a good way to travel? So for my lotions, I'll take, this is the, you can see it over here, the Art Intensive Moisturizer Lotion for face. Well, for whatever, but for face. Once this bottle is empty, I will unscrew the top here and then refill it with whatever I want. So I can travel with lotion instead of having my entire thing of lotion, which has a pop top and tends to leak easier. I put it in here, it's not gonna leak. The only way this leaks is if this top comes off and this gets pushed. It's the only way it leaks. Otherwise, it doesn't tend to leak. So that's a nice thing to travel with. You might try traveling with this with lotions. You might try your conditioner. You can try a bunch of different things in here. Just make sure you replace the label so that you know what's in your bottle and you're not using shampoo on your face. That would probably not work in the morning, but something I might do accidentally. So there's a lot of ways to play around with what you want to bring and how you want to bring it. And then, of course, the Ningxia sachets, the travel things, I travel with those all of the time. Those are definitely a go-to. Let's talk for a bit more about being in a car. What oils, or traveling in general, what oils might you want to bring with you? If you've got a situation going on or something that you know is likely to happen, it's a good idea to be prepared with what oils you're going to bring. So I know when I'm traveling with my nephews, one of them tends to feel a little bit not comfortable when we're moving, whether it's on a boat or in a car or in a train. I have yet to be with him on a plane, but he just gets a little green, if you know what I mean. So to combat the green, we take ginger essential oil, put a drop behind his ears, on his wrists, and then on his belly button. Rub his belly button, and this keeps that green away. Another nephew can't handle the ginger, doesn't like the ginger, but peppermint, easy. Excuse me, same thing, behind his ears, on his wrists, and belly button, no problem. Sometimes also on feet. Feet can be another addition to that. Digize, another one, if you've got that like belly stuff going on, same thing. Feet, belly button, you can do wrists and ears as well. For me, I don't wrist and ears with Digize because that's a strong smelling one that I don't particularly like, but I love how effective it is. So belly button and feet for me for that one. In addition to that, like, you know, motiony stuff that we're trying to support, if you can do that before you even start moving, for most people, it helps support your ability to keep that feeling of not moving even when you're in movement. But if you start noticing you got some tummy stuff going on, any of those that I talked about, the ginger, peppermint, Digize, can be helpful there also, as well as you might try cardamom or clove or nutmeg. Nutmeg can be a really nice one to settle your tummy. Excuse me, spearmint. Growing up, my mom still is a huge gum chewer, but anytime somebody had an upset tummy, she would grab a specific pack of gum. I didn't understand what it is. Now I understand it's because it was the gum that had spearmint in it. And then she'd be passing around those sticks to everybody that she thought needed it. Lavender can also be one that helps support that tummy stuff if you have some tummy stuff going on. Additionally, when you're traveling, especially in a car, it's important to remember, if you're the driver or, helping to support the driver, to stay alert. So to help continue and help you stay alert, some options that might be helpful are peppermint. And also remember lavender. People think lavender is only for calming. It depends. These oils, both peppermint and lavender, it only takes one molecule to trip the receptor in your system so that it works in the way we would typically think it to work. So peppermint to help you be alert and lavender to calm you down. But if you get a lot of it, it goes in the opposite direction. So where this can be really helpful is if you're a driver and you got kids in the back seat and you're ready to knock them out so that they can take a nap, not knock them out, but so that they can take a nap and you can continue driving. If you take lavender and start diffusing it at the front of the car where you're going to get a lot of it and they're going to get a little of it, that can help you stay alert because you're over tripping your receptors and they can calm down. It also can be nice to just pair a little bit. So the lavender in the front where there's a lot of it and you're getting a lot of it to help you get a little bit of alert, and then just a little bit of peppermint to help trip that. And then they don't necessarily in the back get the kids in the back get the peppermint, they're just getting the lavender to calm them down. So pay attention to how much you're using depending on what it is that you're trying to do, if you're trying to help yourself stay alert or to calm. Other ones to help with alertness would be things like energy or clarity or brain power. Rosemary, lemon, and citrus fresh would also be really good depending on what you respond well to. So, test them out before you get in the car. Try a couple of them, see how you respond, what makes you feel good and wakes you up a little bit. For calming, of course, we've got lavender. So I have my neighbors up front had to take a quick road trip to pick something up and had to bring the kids, and they were bouncing off, like she didn't even know she's going to be able to keep them in their seats because they're not in car seats anymore. So she can't strap them in and make them stay. So she's very nervous about it. So for their kids, peace and calming, stress away, and cedarwood were the oils that came with them. Put them on their feet before they got in the car. Kids didn't know what they were, but pretty much they were nice and calm, took naps, read books, and were okay. She couldn't believe it. It was pretty amazing. Other ones that can be relaxing and calming would be things like ylang ylang, citrus fresh, which was also on the wake you up one. That's another one that goes both ways. Orange, gentle baby, surrender, trauma life can be really calming. Valor, rutavala, and tranquil. So those are nice. When you think about oils that you might want to use when you get to the place that you're going, let's say you're going into a hotel or somebody's home and it's late, you just got in and you're trying to settle in and you notice that there's some creepy crawlies around, maybe literally creepy crawlies, like there's stuff on the walls or somewhere. You might want to bring some purification or peppermint or citronella, pine or clove. Those are all great oils for creepy crawlies when they're literally creeping and crawling around you. If you have figurative creepy crawlies where you just get that hair standing on the back of your head and it just feels a little bit like ick in here, but there's not something you could put your finger on and you're just like, ooh, I don't know, I feel like I'm being watched, like that kind of creepy crawly. In that case, I grab my white angelica and I will diffuse that around. I might also grab sage essential oil or Palo Santo. Palo Santo can be really great with those figurative creepy crawlies. And then also juniper. Juniper is a nice one to bring for those types of things. So I would pick one of those. I wouldn't bring all of these if I was traveling. But those are nice options to help that sense of ew, And to have them in a spritz bottle is a nice way to clear the room, clear the space. You can do space clearing with your essential oils in a spritz bottle and just spritz around with the intention of clearing the space, and that can help you like hairs, calm down and not feel so goosebumpy. We'll say goosebumpy. And then of course to think about how clean is the place that you're staying. I'm going to pretend like your family and friends' houses are great, but if you're in a hotel, don't always know how clean things are. And nowadays, I think most of us are a little hyper vigilant in how clean things are. So I tend to travel with my Thieves spray. My Thieves spray, it has more than the CDC recommended amount of alcohol. So it is an approved cleaner for many things. It is very effective. And it has all the essential oils I want to use when I'm cleaning. You can also bring your Thieves cleaner. So I wouldn't bring my whole bottle of Thieves cleaner, but an easy way to travel with your Thieves cleaner is to get the individual Thieves cleaner sachets. They come in little like travel things. It's 1 ounce in there. You can get those. If you don't want to or don't have those, and you happen to have an empty oil bottle, take your empty oil bottle, take the wrap off, and you can put a cap full of the Thieves cleaner in here. Then your trap, make sure you label it so you know what's actually Thieves cleaner. And then when you're traveling with that, you've got your Thieves cleaner to use wherever it is you're using. So if you need to use it straight, you can. If you need to dilute it, you can. You have it ready to go. The nice way to use up empty oil bottles that you might have, and also travel with your Thieves cleaner so that you can do whatever cleaning you need. Other options for cleaning would be the Thieves Wipes. Those are great for cleaning. A lot of people make their own wipes. That's a fun one to do if you're in the DIY mode right now, which many of us are because we kind of have to be. It's a necessity these days for a lot of things. You make your own wipes and take them. And then just the oils, just the purification oil and the Thieves oil can be great for cleaning. If I'm going to go get in the tub, I might want to wipe things down first. So I'll take a couple drops of Thieves and clean out the tub with that. That would be an okay thing to do too. So all good options for when you're in a hotel or a rental car or something like that, where you want to just clean everything off. And then of course, I take my Thieves sanitizer, hand sanitizer, like right now that's going with me everywhere, period. So I have my little 1 ounce bottles that I travel with, and then I have my big bottle that I use to refill the 1 ounce bottles. I can travel with my big bottle. That's fine, especially depending on how long I'm going to be gone. But both of these are options, so I have both of those. Other oils you might consider traveling with for sleep, right? A lot of times when we travel, we're crossing time zones or we're having different schedules, or we might have some of that jet lag feeling. We're just not quite ready to go. Getting the appropriate amount of sleep can be really helpful for that. Sleep Essence is one of the supplements that you can use short term. It's not something to use all the time every night, but it can be a great one to help you get to sleep and stay asleep. So Sleep Essence might be something to bring with you. And then of course, some of the typical oils like lavender or cedarwood. Dreamcatcher can be a nice one to travel with. Rutavala. Rutavala comes both in an oil and in one of these roller balls. Tranquil also comes in one of these 10 milliliter roller bottles. That's a nice one to have with you. Peace and Calming, Valerian, Stress Away, Roman Chamomile. All of those you can put on a pillow or on a stuffed animal. If you have a kiddo or an adult who travels with a stuffed animal, you can put a drop on the nose of the stuffed animal or the head or somewhere on the stuffed animal so that they get to hug and cuddle with it and they're breathing that in and helping them sleep. If you don't, you can put it on the corner of your pillow or put a couple drops in your hands, rub your hands together, and then just smooth your pillowcase around a little bit, and enough of the oil will go onto the pillowcase that as you lay down, you're like cushioned in this wonderful cloud of sleepy time, relaxing essential oils. Of course, you can make a spray and spray down the linens. I like to do this when I'm traveling in hotels or other places where I don't know what kind of cleaning solutions they use on their linens. So I can take some of that like chemically spray that you can sometimes get out of the linens with my room spray that I create on my own. Of course, you can always put them on topically before you're going to bed or when you're trying to wind down. Feet, your neck, your back. You can do it in a bath or a foot soak. You can take a little of the V6 oil. I would not take the whole bottle. I would put it in another container that's seals well and easy to travel with. But you can do a little massage for yourself or for whoever it is that you're with. One tip, a really great way to travel with V6 or to have V6 is if you happen to have a bottle that has a nozzle, it kind of looks like you could use it to put some saline solution in your eyes, right? It's got that little drop already attached to it. It's like the orifice reducer upside down. It's got the pointed part that comes out. If you have one of those that you are done with whatever was in there and clean it out really good and dry it, let it dry completely, you can then put the V6 oil in there, and that lets you squeeze out just a drop at a time. And it's an easy way to travel with V6. It's an easy way also to apply V6. So if you're doing a raindrop technique on somebody, or you're working with somebody and you get some in your eye, or you get some on a place where it's a bit hot, you can just do like a little drop of the V6 and calm it down like that. It's a really great tip I got from a really great friend. So it's a nice way to do it. Oils for jet lag or to help process time changes. My number one go-to is Valor. Valor gets me doing anything that I need to be doing. Peppermint and Brain Power are two others that I lean into sometimes when I need them. Other options would be eucalyptus or clarity or energy or geranium, grapefruit. There's a long list of them. Present time can be a really nice one to help you with jet lag and time changes also. You would want to put it on your temples, on your thymus, and on your feet. Temples, thymus, feet, to help with that compensating for jet lag piece. Anytime I'm traveling, I also want to take into consideration, how am I hydrating? Am I hydrating enough? Especially when I'm on a plane. I get really dehydrated on planes. So I will take my travel bottle. It's a stainless steel bottle, and I will bring some of my oils. Usually I'll bring my lemon vitality and a peppermint vitality, or a lime vitality, or a spearmint vitality, maybe orange vitality. Put a couple drops in. I take the stainless steel through security empty. It is empty. You're allowed to carry it through empty. Once I get through to the other side, I go to the water fountain with the filter on it that you can put water bottles in. Almost every airport nowadays has those. They're really common. And they're usually really easy to get to, and they seem to be doing pretty good keeping up with the filters. But I'll fill my water bottle there, put a couple drops of my oils in there, put the lid on, and it causes me to stay hydrated, drink more water, drink more fluids. Of course, my Ningxia Red I take with me so I can continue to hydrate. And then another option that may work for you if you're looking for extra hydration support would be mineral essence, the supplement mineral essence, to help making sure that you're getting all the minerals that you need, that your body needs to be able to use the hydration that you're getting. If you overdrink water, if you just drink water and nothing else, you can actually, it turns into a diuretic, so it can actually dehydrate you more. A lot of bodybuilders drink tons of water to dehydrate themselves, to be a diuretic, so that their muscles really show right before a performance. They know when to do it. They're usually being watched and supported by people who are trained to watch those levels. So it's not something I suggest you do. So having that mineral essence, that extra addition to your water, can help your body use the hydration that it has so that you don't become dehydrated. Yeah, and then of course, anytime I'm traveling, I'm paying attention to my digestion in general. So I'm going to take my enzymes, I'm going to take my probiotics. It's harder to travel with my regular probiotics, so I take Mighty Pro, the kids version. It's a pre and probiotic. It's a lot like a pixie stick, and as far as the taste and the powderiness of it, but I enjoy them. I have no problem taking these. So this is how I travel with my probiotics. I'll take enzymes. If I'm going for a short period of time, I'll just take a blister pack of my Essentialzyme 4. If I'm going for a longer period of time, I might take a whole bottle of one or more of my enzymes. If I'm going to a place, I might also take my alkaline in my little individual packets instead of taking my whole bottle. It's a nice way to get my alkaline in a travel easy one. If I'm going to a place where I know I'm not going to be eating well, or I don't have access to high quality food or the types of food that my body likes to process through, like greens and vegetables. So if I'm going to a food desert, which some of my family live in, I know I need to take care of my digestion even more. So I'm bringing more probiotics, I'm bringing more enzymes, but I might also throw some Comfort Tone or some ICP in my travel bag. Might want to bring those just to make sure if things get a little too sluggish, that I can move them along. Of course, you can use your essential oils for those things too, but if you lean more into the supplement route, those would be the supplements that I tend to lean into when I'm needing to get things going. Balance Complete is a nice option if you're not sure what your food situation is going to be, where you're going. It's got a really good balance of, it's one of the protein shakes. It's got a really good balance of protein and fiber. The other two protein shakes, the Pure Protein Complete, vanilla and chocolate, don't have fiber or nearly as much fiber. It's primarily protein. The Balance Complete has fiber and protein in it, so that's a nice option. As well as the Sleek Shakes. You can try those as well. And then, of course, I'm going to say it again, Ningxia Red. I travel with my Ningxia Red. I'm drinking my Ningxia Red right now. I have that every day, and I bring extra with me when I travel. Ningxia Nitro is another one that you might want to travel with, especially if you're concerned with staying alert, if you're driving or dealing with the time changes that can make it difficult. Having your Ningxia Red and your Ningxia Nitro can give you a little bit of clarity, mental boost. And then Ningxia Zing would be the option that I would choose instead of those sugary caffeinated energy drinks. Ningxia Zing for me tends to have less of a crash, a little bit more stable energy, and not so much of the like, wow, I have wings sensation, but enough that I feel like I've got that uplifted support. And you can mix those three together. So I did this at convention last year, got my Ningxia Zing, I put in a Ningxia Nitro, and then I poured into that a Ningxia Red pack. That was a wonderful taste and a wonderful blend, and I felt good for a good chunk of the day before I needed any other boost. So definitely something you can mix around and mix and match with. So a lot of things covered today, a lot of some of the basics. Whenever you travel, whenever you're going somewhere, always remember having the basics down can be helpful. Leaning into those can be helpful. That's a great way to do it. It takes practice. It takes trial and error, and a little bit of humility with it. Like, oh, you might have done something right. Something might have worked for you this time. It might not work next time. Play around with it. But remember, why are you going somewhere? What is your intention to do while you're there? And then you can bring in some of your other oils like joy or hope, present time, acceptance, humility, awake, believe, surrender, common sense, motivation, live your passion, gathering gratitude, harmony, inner child, inspiration, highest potential. There are so many oil blends that are just designed for your mental mindset, for your sensation of feeling, for how you want to feel, to help bring that in more. Play around with those. A lot of people get stressed out when they're traveling. A lot of people are traveling because they're stressed out, and other people get stressed out in the event that's coming that they're traveling to. No matter where you're at in that or not in that at all, there's an oil that can support you. What is it that you want to focus on? Not what you're feeling. What do you want to focus on? What do you want to bring in? And how do you want to vibrate so that that vibration can grow within you and in the world around you in a way that's supportive of you? Lean into those, bring those in, and do those. Do that. So I threw a lot of information at you, a lot of oil ideas and suggestions, different ways to use oils. Oh, I forgot a couple. In a car, a really nice way, fun way to have a diffuser in the car when you just don't have the supplies. Grab a pine cone. Put a pine cone in your car, put a couple drops of oil on the pine cone, and that becomes a great diffuser. You can also have, you know, those air fresheners that hang from a car. I hate those, that they just smell so not good. You can get those without scent, and then put your essential oil on them, and you've got your own car freshener. That's awesome. And then of course they have the USB diffusers that you can buy and use, and car diffusers. You can also travel with your diffuser. Traveling with your diffuser is a great way to bring that part, especially if you're a diffuser household, bring it with you. You can get little travel bags for your diffusers. They're often quilted, they have a little bit of support. And the ones that I've seen have little pockets for your essential oils too. There's a lot of companies that make them. So get one of those that you can carry, put your diffuser in it, and bring it with you. Some of the diffusers are bigger than others, some are smaller than others. The one that seems to have the smallest footprint right now, that's the most common, it would be the Feather the Owl diffuser. This is a great one to travel with because it has multiple night lights, different colors. So if you want a little ambiance, go for it, bring that. It also has a white noise machine built in. So you have different options of what kinds of sounds you want. And it's a diffuser. It diffuses the same size room as the dewdrop diffuser or the home diffuser or the bamboo diffuser, all the standard diffusers. It diffuses the same size room, but the footprint of it, the size of it is smaller. So it can be a great one to travel with. If you don't have it, check it out. It might be one for you. It is designed as a kid's diffuser. Most of the adults I know in my life have stolen that one, and they want to give their kids just the regular boring one because it's so much more fun and it's cute, and you can tap the talons to make it work. So it's a little bit interactive. Fun one no matter where you're at in there. All right, so I just want to say thank you very much for joining me. I'm going to open it up for questions, but if you are watching this on YouTube or Facebook and it has been helpful, I would love it if you would click like and subscribe and leave me a comment below. Let me know what you thought, let me know what was helpful, and let me know what questions you have. There are so many things to talk about. Try to really rein it in to bring in the most useful pieces. So what did I miss? What do you need to know? Well, let me know. I'd love to hear.